All right, hey team, we are going to work on some color mana. We're going to work on spell point sorcerers. Give me a minute here to check my signal to see if we're coming through, and then we'll get live here for about an hour or so, doing some lunchtime work. Mic check, mic check. Yeah, that sounds like it's coming through. I'm going to do some fast social media posting here like people do when they do the countdown thing to going live. Instead of having a timer to count down with, I'm going to distract you with my Tales of Glory. And you can, if you're already familiar with my Tales of Glory, you can skip past this by about a minute if you're catching this in the future, and I'll get into the thick of it. But for those that are caught here in time space with me here now, or aren't familiar with my channel yet already, hey, what's up? My name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games, I illustrate them, I publish them online. I've been creating content on Dungeons I've been a DM since 1987, like 40 years now. I've been a Magic the Gathering enthusiast since I'd say like 94. I've been a freelance illustrator since 1999, and I've been creating content on the DMsGuild since 2018. I started with the Color Mana Spell Point variant rule system that converts the 8 schools of magic and spell slots into the 5 color magic spell point system. That is on the DMsGuild. Hold on real quick. Let me fix my screen here real quick for you guys. There we go. Bloop. And bloop. There we go. Yeah, so you can check out, let's see, here's the 5 color mana spell point variant rules here on the DMsGuild. Here's a bunch of other books that I built on the DMsGuild. When I publish a book, the thing's 100% free preview. Read the book, use it in a campaign, run it from level 1 to 20. If you think it's cool, consider making a purchase to encourage similar behavior in the future. While you're here, if you think this stuff is fun, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications of when I am live in the future, which is about 10 times per week, Monday through Friday in the morning, as well as Mondays and Thursday nights, Tuesdays and Fridays like today, sometimes elsewise. At least, yeah, 9 times per week. And the playtest document that we're working with right now, the Martial Powers playtest document that converts martials into the same sort of mana system. You can click here into my Patreon. You don't have to be a Patreon supporter, but God bless you if you are. Click on that. It'll take you into the Google Doc. This is a read-only document. Once this goes live on DMsGuild, it will be fully viewable, just like everything else that I do is. This is the 2014 rules. We're going to be updating all of these mechanics to comply with the 2024 rules. I'm not going to go into color mechanics right now. I'm on limited time. I will do a deep dive into the color magic system again at a later time when I'm streaming that, like long form streaming, like on Thursday or Monday night. But for now, we're working our way through the the sorcerer subclasses that weren't adopted for 2024. We're calling them Forsaken subclasses, and we're starting off with the Storm Sorcerer. So I don't know how long this is going to take. We still have the Lunar Sorcerer to do as well after this, and once we've done that, we're really close to being done with this document. So we'll see how that all parses out. But Storm Sorcery, your innate magic comes from the power of elemental air. Many with this power can trace their magic back to a near-death experience caused by the Great Rain, but perhaps you were born during a howling gale so powerful, blah de blah. Storm Sorcerers are invaluable members of Bloody Blahs. So Storm Sorcery, blah. Windspeaker, Tempestuous Magic. All right, let's check out what some of this stuff does. We're converting things into the 2024 system. Other than the Lunar Sorcerer, we've done all of the other types of sorcery already. We also have a full conversion here in this document. We're down on page 138 right now. 38, 37, 36, 35, 34, 33. Okay, so 133 is where the sorcerer starts. And just to catch you up, the way that we revise this is obviously we use spell points, and we've combined the spell pool that a normal full caster would get using the color mana system with the sorcery points that a sorcerer gets, 1 per level. So you have a total of 100 mana by the time you get to 20th level. In addition, other alterations that we've made is prepared spells. You get up to 25 prepared spells with this system. That includes you can pick any sorcerer spells or meta magics as many of either one as you want, as long as it hits it. Like I'm playing a 6th level Spells Point Sorcerer in Curse of Strahd right now. I have 9 total spells. I actually have 2 meta magics and 7 spells that I cast. 26 mana. It's 1 mana per spell level that you're casting. So 6th level spell costs 6 mana. At 6th level, I can cast up to 3rd level spells, which are 3 mana a pop. And you can see here on the side, there's the max sorcery limit, which is a half casting progression of 1 at 2nd level, then 2 at 5, 3 at 9, 4 at 13, and then 5 at 17. This is how much additional mana I can spend on top of the level of the spell that I can cast to add meta magic. And if I have enough budget to add more than 1 meta magic to a spell, I can. So I can stack meta magic effects. And at 17th level, I can stack them up to 5 total mana. Mana costs for meta magic goes up to 4 mana. We only have 1 meta magic that's at 4, and that's maximize spell. And that is when you cast a spell that deals damage, instead of rolling dice, you automatically deal the maximum amount of damage. Hey, Steve. It's good to see you, man. But the bulk of, and then there's a few 3rd rank stuff. Poisoning spell poisons people. Terrifying spell frightens people. Blinding spell blinds people. And they get hit by these things, and then they basically save their way out of them. 2nd level, delayed spell. You can hold concentration to cast a spell at a later time with a trigger condition. Entangling spell. Restrains targets. Explosive spell pushes people away from the center of a area of effect spell. Heightened spell increases the effective level of the spell, so it's more difficult to... when a creature makes a saving throw to resist the effect, choose a number of creatures affected by your charisma saving throw. The chosen creature has disadvantage on that save. Implosive spell, if there's an area of effect that pulls people towards the center of it. Quicken spell can be cast as you can spend 2 mana to cast a spell as a bonus action. When you cast a spell that has a casting time of 1 action, you can spend 2 mana to cast a spell as a bonus action. And then meta magic, So faster spell, pull spell, disadvantage save spell, push spell, entangling, restraining spell, and then concentration to hold the spell. Twin spell, you can cast it. You can target 2 targets as long as there's only 1 target. Normally, you can double the cost of the spell to target 2 targets instead. You can spend a number of mana equal to the spell's level up to your max sorcery limit. So at 17th level, we can put up to 5 mana into meta magic. So at 17th level, I could twin a 5th level spell like Polymorph, I think, as a 4th level spell. So I could do that at 13th. But I can target 2 creatures with Polymorph. They both have to make a save. It'll double the cost of the spell, but by 13th level, that's how much meta magic I can pump into something. Keeping in mind, this prevents us from using high magic. There's cantrips, there's high magic, there's cantrips, there's common magic, and there's high magic. Cantrips are 0 level spells. They don't cost any mana unless you hype them with meta magic. Common magic is level 1 to 5. Costs 1 to 5 points of mana to cast. And then high magic is 6th level and above. And so you cannot use meta magic. You cannot twin a high level spell. Though you could, like, say, delayed spell. You could put like a wish spell on delay if you wanted to. For instance, it would cost you, it'll cost you an extra 2 points of mana, but that's not too expensive. First level spells, there's a whole bunch of them. Again, doubling the spell, doubling the targets of the spell. Transmuting spell lets me change the damage type to an elemental type. Subtle spell, I can do so without semantic or verbal components. Radiant spell deals radiant damage instead of whatever damage. Lifelink gives me temporary hit points based on how much mana I spend as meta magic. Impeding spells is creatures are slowed. Force spell is, or rather their movement rate is halved. Force spell deals force damage as opposed to radiant damage. Extended spell lets me increase the duration of the spell. Empowered spell lets me spend mana to re-roll a number of damage dice rolled equal to my charisma modifier, keeping the new result. And then distance spells, I can increase the range of the spell. Corroding spell can deal necrotic or acid damage instead of what I normally would do. Convincing spell allows me to gives disadvantage on saving throws against enchantments and illusion spells. Is that redundant? Hold on. And to disbelieve illusions, it's more difficult. But what about empowered spell? When you make a damage saving throw, you must spend 1 roll to reroll damage types. Repeating, radiant, subtle. Where is it? Empowered spell. Nope, that was damage, corroding, convincing. Did I not just say? Am I crazy? Heightened spell. Have disadvantage on the first saving throw made against the spell. So heightened spell is when you cast a spell that forces a creature to make a saving throw to resist its effects. Choose a number of creatures affected by your charisma modifier. Chosen creatures have disadvantage on the first saving throw made against that spell, as opposed to convincing spell. When you cast an enchantment or illusion spell, the initial save against the spell and subsequent checks to disbelieve if it's an illusion are rolled with disadvantage. That is first level, as opposed to, see, this is a flaw, and I just found one, thank God. Heightened spell is 2 mana. This works for anything. When you cast an enchantment spell, the initial save, when you cast an enchantment spell that targets one creature or an illusion spell, the initial save against the spell and subsequent checks to disbelieve if it's an illusion are rolled with disadvantage. Then let's go to heightened spell. Thank you, Timely Timer. Let's see. When you cast a spell that forces a creature to make a saving throw to resist its effect. To resist or end its effects. Choose a number of creatures affected by the charisma. There you go. So heightened spell now always has, no matter how many times you make a saving throw, it's going to be at disadvantage against that number of creatures. And the convincing spell is a single target for enchantment, or anyone that's looking at the illusion is at disadvantage on that save. And then careful spell allows me to dodge people from taking damage from this spell effect. Okay, that's pretty good. But we're actually, I'm just cleaning these things up. I also noticed eschew material components was originally just an additional sorcery option, but I want to push that down into meta magics. Let's see. Immaterial spell. How about that? And this would actually be a first level spell, so it's immaterial. Spend 1 mana per level of spell cast up to your max sorcery limit to ignore the need for material components that cost less than 100 gold pieces. There. 1 mana, don't have to worry about having stuff unless it's real expensive stuff. And it only works for up to 5th level spells. Period. There. Nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Additional sorcery options. The following options can be used if desired. The following options can be used starting at 5th level. When you fail an ability check, you can re-roll, potentially turning failure into success. When you fail an attack roll, you can re-roll. There you go. 2 mana pop, starting at 5th level. Two mana. Magic. Okay. Okay, that's good. Okay, cool. So let's get back on task. Just working on fixing shit. So work in progress, you know. Forsaken sorceries. We're gonna do lunar sorcery next week. Storm sorcery. Here we go. So let's get into ye old. Let's first figure out all the features that it has, and then we'll see what kind of spells we should be able to add on, because it doesn't come with any spells. But I don't know why. Some you do get spells, some apparently you don't. Lunar Sorcerer got a shitload of spells. But like Wild Sorcerer doesn't, and Draconic Bloodline. Yeah, Draconic Bloodline doesn't get any spells. It's weird. Sometimes you get spells, sometimes you don't. But the spells that don't get power or don't get spells, I don't see them having that much more power than what the spells they aren't equal. Subclasses that get spells are more powerful than the sorcerers that don't. So there's a disparage there. Luckily for us, we can either give you free spells or we can give you free meta magic, which is a fun add-on feature that we can do to help further distinguish the flavor. Lunar Empowerment. No, we're not doing Lunar right now. We're doing Storm. There we go. So let's get on task, Kearney. Storm Sorcerer, Storm Valuable Members. Windspeaker. 3rd level variant. Windspeaker. After 20 minutes of hitting and hawing, here we are. The arcane magic you command infused with air, elemental air. You can speak, read, and write primordial. Knowing this language allows you to understand and be understood by those that speak its dialects. Neat. Well, I like that. I'm a big elemental fan. I'm not saying I'm going to do this, but if I were to make my own 5e game engine variant, I would make it not color focused. Not 8 schools of magic focused, but I would make it elemental focused. I would have the primary elements as well as the quasi elements like steam and magma and stuff like that. Let's see. You can speak. So I basically instead of the elemental key. Here, hold on, I'll show you guys. For those that are interested. If we go to the 5-color mana spell point variant rule system that we have, and we go down to the elemental monk, elemental key. Tap on tap burn, elemental key. This converts the Way of the Four Elements monk into a half caster. And although you can see here, it does have color mana with blue, red, and green magic. Was that Jeskai? No. It's not Mardu. I can't remember who URG is. That's really sticking in my head. But it's a very Gruul sort of space to be in. So here's your spells. And here's the mana. Here's the colors of mana it's associated with. But we also have elemental and of air, earth, fire, and water. So like Gust is a wind spell, so that's air magic. But otherwise, it works exactly the same as the color magic system. It's just a different magic paradigm. So you have First level spells cost 1 mana. Fifth level spells cost 5 mana. If it's an air spell like Gust, 1 point for air, and then the other 4 points can be any elements if you want. If you're running a normal Airbender campaign, for example, where each character would be attuned to one specific type of element, then you essentially have just a you have it's effectively just a monocolor, right? You only use air magic, but the spells that are attuned to air, the spells that are attuned to air magic is limited. Like a fireball isn't an air spell, unless you were to modify it so that it could become an air spell, in which case perhaps you would deal thunder damage instead of fire damage, for instance. It's like those are system modifications that are easy for us to implement. But the universal spell point system that we have here on the DMsGuild, which is down here. There. The universal spell point system it's so generic. Like, it's supposed to be universal, right? It's just an alternate mana system from the DMG 2014, but since it uses the 1-to-1 point ratio and properly scales, like full casters have 80, half casters have 40, and then minor casters, monks, pact magic for warlocks, eldritch knight, arcane trickster, they have 20 mana at 20th level. And obviously the levels scale differently. Up to 10 mana can be spent by full casters, up to 5 mana can be spent by half casters, and then the third caster is perhaps misnamed, but you basically gain 1 level of spell casting for every 3 levels that you gain, so thus third caster title, but they're like minor casters. They can get up to 4th level spells at 19th level. But again, it's only 1 mana per level of spell cast. So you now have a 1-to-1 ratio on spell levels. So it makes it really easy for you to do mana tricks like that. Like a first level spell is going to cost, if it's an air spell, it'll cost you 1 point of air. A fireball is a 3rd level fire spell. So it'd be 1 point of fire mana. And then the other 2 points can be any color that you want. It can be any element that you want. But if you're only using fire magic, then it would automatically just be like 3 points of fire mana, because that's the only kind of mana you have. But like if you're the actual avatar where you can wield all 4 elements together, then you could have like a blend of like some air and some fire. So I'm going to have Gust and Fireball on my spell list, and I'll have to divide up my mana pool between air and fire mana to curb how freely I can cast magic between the different between the different aspects of magic. In this case, the elements. But then the color mana system, it's 5 colors, 4 elements. You can also do like a 3-body problem, or like a body, mind, and soul could be a 3 system paradigm. Shit, if you really wanted to, you could do hammer, rock, paper, rock, scissors. It's paper, rock, scissors magic. Where would Fireball sit in a paper, rock, scissors match? I don't know. It's probably Spock. But I digress. The system is flexible. So if I were to do my own 5e system, I would lean into the elements. I love from Athos. I love the elemental gods, making the inner planes the primordial gods, and then the outer plane like all these what do you call them, like alignment gods or like philosophy gods. They divorce themselves from the elements, so they aren't natural. They're all mind space type of things. It's a neat dichotomy. So you can speak, read, and write primordial. Knowing this language allows you to understand and be understood by those. Allows you to communicate with those that speak Aquan, Auran, Ignan, or Terran. Yeah, and Terran. There you go. There's if you had the second edition book, Inner Planes, it's a great Planescape book. Basically, it describes all the inner elemental planes, and then each primary major 4 elements have both good and evil gods, arch elementals, basically, that lead that are at war with each other inside the elemental plane. The elemental planes are all about warfare between each other, one element trying to dominate the others, and that's what creates the primordial storm at the center of all of this. And then you add in radiance and negative energy, and then all the para-elementals and all the quasi-elementals, It is a wide array of how you can blend elements together into different effects. The Dark Sun 2nd edition, what was it? Clerics of Wind and Sand or something like that. It was a super deep dive into quasi and parallel elemental clerics using the elemental system that Athos really leaned into. Athos was great. Elemental magic and psionics, which is completely divorced from element, kind of like how the gods are philosophical instead of visceral. It's a fun dynamic. So so Wind Speaker, that's basically a ribbon feature. Tempestuous magic. Let's see what that does. Tempestuous magic. Starting at first level, you can use a bonus action on your turn to cause whirling gusts of elemental air to briefly surround you immediately before or after you cast a spell of first or higher level. Doing so allows you to fly up to 10 feet without provoking opportunity attacks. Tempestuous magic. Tempestuous sorcery. When you expend mana to cast a sorcerer spell, to cast one of your sorcerer spells or modify a spell with meta magic, you can expend mana. When you expend mana to cast one of your sorcerer spells or modify a spell with meta magic, you can use a bonus action to be lifted by magical winds to carry you to a unoccupied space within 10 feet of yourself without provoking opportunity attacks. When you expend mana to cast one of your spells or modify a spell with meta magic, you can use a bonus action immediately before or after casting to be lifted by magical winds to carry you to an unoccupied space within 10 feet of yourself without provoking opportunity attacks. There you go. Those are both pretty minor abilities. I like that. I like the tempestuous shift. That's pretty cool. But I don't know if those are so good that you shouldn't get 4 spells at 3rd level. It's the shift from sorcery being 1st level to starting at 3rd level, I think is where I'm feeling the change. Because the sorcerer used to be 1st, 6th, 14th, and 18th. Now you don't get it until 3rd level because of 24 rules. And because of that, this Wind Speaker is very much a ribbon feature, and this tempestuous magic it's basically a feat. But you have to spend mana to use it in the first place, so it's like a half feat. And that doesn't, a ribbon feature and a half a feat doesn't feel like enough to replace magic's, like a list of spells altogether, which is where I'm justifying justifying why we should give sorcerers a spell list. And I just think they should have spell, because everyone else gets spell lists. I think sorcerers should too. So, but I like what these effects are. So, Heart of the Storm. Let's see what this does. At 6th level, you gain lightning and thunder damage. You gain resistance to lightning and thunder damage. In addition, whenever you start casting a spell of 1st or higher that deals lightning or thunder damage, stormy magic erupts from you. This eruption causes creatures of your choice that you can see within 10 feet of you to take lightning or thunder damage. Choose each time this ability activates equal to half your sorcerer level. That's actually a really good feature. That might be a good enough feature that we should make that 14th level and only make it active when you're using your innate sorcery rage ability. That's the kind of thing that should potentially feed into rage. There's also a 6th level ability. Yeah, Heart of the Storm is starting to feel 14th level, and I could probably combine that all into Storm's Fury. Let's keep reading, though. At 6th level, you gain the ability to subtly control the weather around you. If it's raining, you can use an action to cause the rain to stop falling in a 20-foot sphere around you. You can end this effect as a bonus action. If it's windy, you can use a bonus action each round to choose the direction that the wind blows in a 100-foot radius centered on you. The wind blows in that direction until the end of your turn. This feature doesn't alter the speed of... God, what a bullshit feature. Yeah, no. We're getting rid of Storm Guide. That's crap. What we're going to do is we're going to get the Elementalist cantrip. And we're also going to get a Wind Wall as a 3rd level spell for fucking certain. Jesus, what a waste. Yeah, Storm Guide's garbage. Storm's Fury, starting at 14th level. When you are hit by a melee attack, you can use your reaction to deal lightning damage. Wait a second. Lightning and thunder damage. Magic erupts around you. The eruption causes creatures of your choice that you can see within 10 feet. Yeah, Heart of the Storm, that needs to be 14th level. And I strongly suspect Storm's Fury we can drop to 6. Starting at 14th level, when you're hit by a melee attack, you can use your reaction to deal lightning damage to the attacker. The damage equals your sorcerer level. The attack must make a strength saving throw against the sorcery spell save DC. On a failed save, it's pushed in a straight line up to, we'll make it 10 feet away instead of 20. Since the 6th level. Storm's Fury, Wind Soul, you gain... gain immunity. Ooh. Hold on. Let's parse this. Hold on. I'm parsing this. You also gain a magical fly speed of 60 feet. As an action, you can reduce your flying speed to 30 feet for 1 hour and choose a number of creatures within 30 feet equal to your blah. The chosen creatures gain a magical flying speed of 30 feet for 1 hour. Once you reduce your flying speed this way, you can't do so again until you finish a short rest unless you spend 5 mana. It's that's the Overland Flight spell, basically. So, boy, I'm seeing some stuff that needs to be parsed here. So, Storm's Fury, Heart of the Storm. How does, let me go up to Draconic Sorcerer. Actually, Dark Terror, when you begin its turn or into the space of darkness, it deals damage. So 18th level has precedence as Storm's Fury. Level 6. So level 8 and level 14 should become 18. Level 6 should become 14, and level 14, level 18 can become 6. No. It's Heart of the Storm. That's yeah, level 18 Heart of the Storm. That is the correct way to play. So let's go with this. I'm gonna copy this, drain it over here, cut that out, drop it in. Yeah, at 6th level, you gain resistance to, you gain immunity. to lightning and thunder damage. God, that's really good. In addition, 2/3. In addition, whenever you spend mana to cast a sorcerer level 1 spell to cast. Whenever you expend mana to cast or modify a spell that deals lightning or thunder damage, stormy magic eruption from you, the eruption causes creatures of your choice that you can see within 10 feet of you to take lightning or thunder damage equal to half your sorcerer level. Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. That's pretty good. Level 14. Storm Guide. If it's raining, you can. Oh no, that's garbage. Yeah. Reaction. Storm's Fury. This feels like a 6th level ability to me. Storm's Fury. Yeah. When you're hit by a melee attack, you can use your reaction to deal lightning damage to the attacker. The damage equals your sorcerer level. The attacker must also make a strength saving throw against your sorcerer save DC. On a failed save, the attacker is pushed in a straight line up to 10 feet. Up to 5 feet away from you. I want to write your max sorcery limit 5 feet per max per meta magic. How would I do that? Maybe it should just be 10 feet. Get out of here. Sometimes I hit the F12 key. The attacker is pushed directly away from you by 10 feet. Simpler. 2024 push effects generally don't have saving throws. Especially if it's only going to be 10 feet instead of 20. That feels pretty good. Always going to succeed. The damage equals your sorcerer level. It's reaction. It's pretty good. From you by 10 feet. Yeah, I like that. And then there was Heart of the Storm. Wind Soul. This is appropriate. Hold on. This is kind of a nothing burger feature. Hold on. You also gain a magical flying speed of 60 feet. No, yeah. We'll do it like this. Let's go to the dragon. I think we can gank dragon magic. There. Let's do that. As part of the bonus action to activate your innate sorcery feature, you can also cause winds to carry you granting you a fly speed of 60 feet. In addition, you can hover. Why is my phone making noise? Knock it off, shenaniganer. No noise during stream. Thank you, phone. Only my timer. Let's reduce the size of this a smidge. Oh, we're doing good. Let's see. Storm's Fury. Wind Soul. As part of the bonus action to activate your innate sorcery feature, you can also summon winds. Winds to carry you, granting you a fly speed of 60 feet. In addition, you can hover. This effect lasts for the duration of the innate sorcery feature until you dismiss it. No actions required. Heart of the Storm, you gain in addition, whenever you expend mana to cast or modify a spell that deals lightning or thunder damage, stormy magic erupts from you. This eruption causes creatures of your choice that you can see within 10 feet of you to take lightning or thunder damage. Choose each time this ability activates, equal to half your sorcerer level. That's pretty good. Let's see what's going on over here. Storm's Fury. When you are hit by an attack, you can use your reaction to deal lightning damage to the attacker. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so now we get to play. Now we get to play with spell levels. So let's spells. So let's go to the spells. I got ideas. I've got ideas. Let's first off go with. No, I don't want sorcerer classes. I just want origin is what I want. I want all spells, just origin stuff. Origin is or source. Show advanced filters. Source category. Yeah, core rules. No, I want sorted by spell level. In the meantime, hey, what's up? You never have enough spells. They need spells. This guy, this obviously, compared to what 2024 can do now, this fucking needs spells. It needs spells, but we can do better than that. better than just spells, we can... I'm having to scroll too much. I don't like it. Show me. Transmuted spell. Lightning and thunder damage. I think I need to grab a second block. Yeah. I need a second block. Let's go down to page 137. Yeah, transmuted spell. Let's go back to where we're supposed to be. There. Transmuted spells are first rank. Let's see. There we go. Elementalism, thank you. Let's look at this. Back in area, you create a breeze strong enough to ripple cloth, stir dust, block, close path, and all in a 5-foot area. Door shutter being open by someone or showing other effect. Smoke. Smoke, mist, water. And you gain the elementalism cantrip. Tempestuous sorcery. When you expend mana to cast one of your sorcery spells and modify it in Terran. 3. In addition, you add the elementalism cantrip to the list to your list of known cantrips. To your list of known cantrips without counting against the total number of cantrips you can. No. There, not so ribbony now, huh? Let's get out of that one and let's look at we need first level stuff. Period. What else we got? Shocking Grasp ain't bad. On a hit, the target takes D8 damage of the type you choose. Sorcerer's Burst. Shocking Grasp isn't horrible. That was goofy. Again, F11. Shocking Grasp. Graps. Man, my dyslexia is kicking in today like fierce. Hold on. Distance spell. Oh, God, that's really good. There's a lot of fucking cool meta magic we can throw in on this, man. Shocking Grasp with Distance Spell lets you, if you spend 2 mana at 5th level, you can Shocking Grasp somebody up to 10 feet away. That's not bad. It's not bad. When you cast a spell, it has a range of touch. Oh, not 10 feet, 20 feet. 10 feet for 1 mana, 20 feet Yeah, 20 feet for 5th. For 2 mana. Distant spell, Shocking Grasp, Transmuted spell. And there's probably a 2nd level spell in here somewhere we can pick up. The level stuff is so easy to spin. Thunderclap, like there's all this. Oh god, that Shocking Grasp is only that's a cantrip. Distant spell, I like Distant spell. That makes sense. I don't think Shocking, that's just a cantrip. You can pick up Shocking Grasp. That's fine. But I will note, if you use Distant spell with Shocking Grasp, you can then trigger the, at 18th level, you can trigger Heart of the Storm to deal 10 damage, to, at least 9 damage to everyone around you. That's not bad. And Shocking Grasp can only normally target 1 person, so you could hit 2 people with Shocking Grasp if you wanted to. As a cantrip, like 5d8 damage. Got some like real Star Wars Emperor shit going on there. I love it. I love it. Show me some cool stuff. Let me see your 1st and 2nd level coolness. God, this guy's just so built for cantrips. It's so cool. Just wrecking shit. Love it. I'm gonna laugh if this guy just stacks up on meta magics. 1 creature of your choice that you can see on its psychic damage. I don't want to do that. Snaring Strike, Entangle, Expeditious Retreat. Expeditious Retreat's not horrible. False Light. Ooh, Featherfall. That's a pretty obvious one. Fog Cloud isn't horrible. Thank you, Timely Timer. God, Fog Cloud's a good one. Featherfall, Fog Cloud. Okay, we're theoretically done with 3rd level, but let's just push on to see if there's something tastier. Those are good choices. I mean, they're very intuitive. Those might be one of the best. Oh, geez, Thundering Smite. Nah. If it was, oof, God, Thunderwave. So much good stuff. God, there's a lot of good stuff. I don't know. Thunder Strike would be great if you wanted to gish at it. It's not built to gish though. It's really not meant to gish. I mean, you could make it that okay. I'm going to stay off gish. I'm going to make a gish out of this thing eventually. Is it Tempestuous? When you expend mana to cast one of your sorcery spells or modify a spell with meta magic, you can use a bonus action immediately before or after casting to be lifted by magical winds to carry you to an unoccupied space within 10 feet of yourself without provoking. Within 10 feet. Without provoking opportunity attack. That's a really good one. I like that. Eesh, but it's a bonus action. That's expensive. A bonus action? 10 feet. 3rd level. When you expend, let's do it this way instead. When you expend mana to cast one of your sorcerer spells or modify a spell with meta magic, you can use a bonus action immediately before or after casting to be lifted by magical winds to carry you to an unoccupied space within 10 feet per point of mana spent up to your max sorcery limit. There. So at 17th level, I can spend my bonus. If I spent 5 mana on the spell, at 17th level, I can move 50 feet as a bonus action. Bonus action. That's basically like a thief dodge, or it's like a thief dash with disengage attached, but it had a 5-point kicker. So that's actually very much like a monk, like the monk spending mana with its like whatever it is. It's fast feet or whatever it is. Step of the wind, I think is what it is. That actually feels really fucking sick. That's actually really fucking sick. I really like that. When you expend mana to cast one of your sorcery spells or modify a spell with meta magic. Yeah, I like that. Wind Speaker, you get the elementalism. God, this feels good. When you're hit. What's up with the UR? When you're hit by a melee attack, you can use your reaction to deal lightning damage to the attacker. The damage equals your sorcerer level, and the attacker is pushed directly away from you by 10 feet. Yeah, I'm good with that. Yeah, I like that. So, distance spell. I can probably afford to drop distance spell. It's a good meta to pick up, but that's your own meta. Featherfall, like Thunder Wave. Thunder Wave is such a good spell. I feel like it should be added. Okay, we'll check to see. We'll see if there's something better than Thunder Wave, but I doubt it. I really want to build a Paladin Sorcerer Gish using a martial power system and this Sorcerer. God, that'd be fucking cool. really cool. Unseen Servant is a fun like off wind effect. Okay, no, we're into second level spells now. So 3rd level spells. Second level spells. We can still pick them. Let's see if there's a better second level spell than the ones that we picked, and if there is, we'll take it. Guys, the gift that keeps giving. Blur, Calm Emotions. No, nothing so far. Nothing obvious jumping out at me here, Chief. Gust of Wind. We push 15 away from you in a direction towards the line. From you in a direction you choose. Each creature in the line. Strength saving throw will be pushed back 15 feet from you in a direction following the line. Let's make the same save. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, that's really good. I think I like Gust of Wind better than Fog Cloud. FG. Gust of Wind. Okay, so Gust of Wind. Range area self. A line of strong wind 60 feet long and 10 feet wide blasts from you in a direction you choose for the duration. Each creature in the line must succeed a strength saving throw or be pushed back 15 feet away from you in a direction following the line. The creature that ends its turn in the line. So I can continuously push you back 15 feet if you keep failing your strength saving throw. I like that. Now, let's pair that with Distance Spell. You cast a spell that has a range of touch. When you cast a spell that has a range of 5 feet or greater, but Gust of Wind doesn't have a range. The range is self. So that would not increase it to range. I'm okay with that. Now let's look at explosive spell. Oh, it has to deal damage within an area of effect. And Gust of Wind doesn't deal any damage. Okay, so that's a non-bow. Deal damage, deal damage, deal damage. All right, that's cool. Gust of Wind is still a super cool spell. Anything else going on here? Levitate could be cheated, and I mean I could use that, but nah. I'm gonna let that go. Okay, I think we're about ready. Silence. Nah, we'll let that go. Okay. Third level, we need 2 of them. Oof, Call Lightning? Jesus Christ, that's a good one. Call Lightning's really good. Oh boy. A storm cloud appears at a point within range. A storm cloud appears at a point within range that you can see above yourself. 10 feet tall, 60 feet radius. That's huge. When you cast a spell, choose a point that you can see under the cloud. A lightning bolt shoots from the cloud to that point. Each creature within 5 feet of that point must make a dexterity saving throw, taking 3d10 lightning damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one. Until the spell ends, you can take the magic action to call down lightning, and that way again targeting the same point or a different one. If you're outdoors in a storm when you cast the spell gives you control over the storm instead of creating a new one. Under such direction, the spell's damage increases by d10. And you can ramp it. Hell yeah. Call Lightning's sick, dude. Oh, hell yeah. Okay, now we'll keep an eye out for something that might beat Wind Wall. But if we get the Wind Wall and we haven't found it yet, we're definitely keeping it. Oof, God, that's so cool. Gassy. Okay, well we have the skip about. Yeah, we already have the bonus action for moving, which isn't as good as the fly spell itself. But you can just pick up the fly spell if you want. It doesn't need to be. That should be a sorcerer spell, right? Yeah, sorcerer. Gaseous form is a cool spell, but it should be on. Yeah, it's on the sorcerer list already, so we don't need to spin on that. Lightning Bolt's a goodie, but you can have. I mean, that's such a pick me. You can have it. And you have so many spells you can pick. Protection of Energy is a give me. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna find better than Windwall. Windwall's a good one. Yeah. Windwall. There it is. Is it on the sorcerer's list? It's not on the sorcerer's list. That makes it sick automatically. A wall of strong wind rises from the ground at a point you can see within range. You can make the wall up to 50 feet long, 50 feet high, 1 foot thick. Shape the wall any way you choose. When the wall appears, each creature in the area makes a strength saving throw against 48 bludgeoning damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one. The strong wind keeps wind, fog, smoke, and other gases at bay. Smaller creatures or objects can't pass through the wall. Loose, lightweight materials such as fly upward. Arrows, bolts, and other ordinary projectiles launched at a target behind the wall are deflected upward and miss automatically. Boulders hurled by giants and siege engines and similar projectiles are unaffected. Creatures in gaseous form can't pass through it. Range, area. It doesn't have an area of effect, technically. There is no... It's just a range area. You can make the wall 50 feet long, 15 feet high, and 1 foot. You can shape the wall any way you choose, so long as it makes one continuous path along the ground. Deals damage. So how can we mess around with damage stuff? Wind wall is definitely the right choice. Create a spell that deals damage. Creatures become scared. You can change the damage type to poison. When you cast a spell that deals damage, you can change the damage type to poison, and you can choose a number of creatures up to your charisma modifier that are damaged this way. Ongoing effect. The spell deals damage. It's an ongoing effect. Any number of creatures can attempt to walk through it. It doesn't say in a single casting. So if I put up a wind wall and I have poisoning spell and I have a 20 charisma, that's five creatures that if they attempt to get through the wind wall, I can poison. I can switch the damage type to poison if I want. You can change the damage type to poison, and you can choose a number of creatures with your charisma modifier that are damaged this way. Oh, damaged this way. So if I turn the damage to poison, and I hit a creature, it takes poison damage. It has to make a Constitution saving throw or it's poisoned. On top of that, no, I can't. On top of that, because I can't do terrifying spell and poisoning spell and blinding spell at the same time. When you cast a spell that deals damage, choose a number of creatures affected up to charisma modifier. Chosen creatures make a wisdom saving throw or are blinded. A blinded creature can make a saving throw. Yeah, I could technically blind you when you hit that. If you try to walk through the wind wall, I could blind you. It just depends on how I cast it. Explosive spell. When you cast a spell that deals damage within an area of effect. Yeah, this doesn't have an actual area of effect. It's a wall. So explosive spell doesn't count. I like this, though. You cast a spell that deals damage. Ooh. When you cast a spell that deals damage, choose a number of creatures affected up to your charisma modifier. Chosen creatures must make a dexterity saving throw or are restrained. So Meta Magic 2, I could use restrained. I could use entangling spell. And I could use poisoning spell at the same time for a total of 5 meta magic at 17th level to both blind and poison targets that try to walk through the wind wall. I cannot complain about that. That is cool. I could empower it. I could poison them. No, heightened spell is a second, so I couldn't do that as well. But there's some cool combos here we could set up. That's sick. Yeah, Call Lightning, Wind Wall. Those are good choices. Those are good choices. Yeah, and now we're in the 4th level. So what 4th level shit can we find? Hold on real quick. My phone feels weird. Thanks, folks. 4th level. Freedom of movement isn't a bad idea. Sorcerer doesn't get it. Freedom of movement's not a bad choice. I kind of like that. Let's pencil it in. Once we finish these spells, I'll be done for the day, and then on Monday, Friday when we come back, we'll do that. Ice Storm isn't a horrible idea. It's not very thunder or lightning, but it is windy-ish. Polymorph, Staggering Strike, Stone Shape, Stone Skin. There's got to be something interesting in here that we can use. Summon Elemental. Did we miss something? Let's wind our way back just a touch, just to make sure. Ice Storm. Jeez. I don't dislike Ice Storm. Conjure minor elementals. Okay, maybe that's a good idea. Holy shit. 15-foot radius. You can do all sorts of meta magic nastiness with this. Yep. Conjure minor elementals. This is a sick list, man. And then 5th. That's some nasty spells. But completely on point. Cone of Cold, that's not a horrible option. Thank you, Tyler. Yeah. Yeah, I'll finish up here in a minute and then I gotta bounce. Gesh. Jarlazel's Storm of Flashing Lights and Raging Thunder. Can't I just... Storm of what? Jarlazel's Jalarzi's Jalarzi. I've never heard of Jalarzi. I don't know whose legacy that's supposed to be. Jalarzi's Storm of Radiance. It's in the name. I gotta go with it. And it deals thunder damage, so that's fair. And I can meta magic the fuck out of it. Oof, so good. Legend Lore, Pure, Mislead, Modify Memory, Pass Wall, Planar Binding, Raise, Rarity, Reincarnate, Scrying, Seeming. Ooh, Steel Wind Strike. That's off flavor, but it's in the name. Am I just gonna pun off of names? I'm not above punning off of names. And then we run out of spells. So yeah, it feels like Steel Wind Strike's where I'm gonna go with that. Force the weapon used in the casting a spell, and the advantage to strike like the wind. 5 creatures. Melee spell attacks. That's pretty cool because I could use that with the wind step thing. The Tempestuous Sorcery. It's a 5th level spell, so I could jump 50 feet, before I dash another 30 feet to hit targets. Damn, that's got some range. Then teleport to a spot. Or I could dash around, teleport to a spot, and then jump 50 feet away with attack of opportunity. Holy fuck, what a great disengage. That's... yeah. That's insane. It completely... that really throws this guy into the gish. Kind of like it. God, with distance spell on top of this, it would bounce the range to 60 feet per target. Oh, God, that's good. That's really good. That's really, really good. This guy's a monster. Oh, my God. Yeah, this guy's insane. This guy is fucking sick. Right on, my dudes. All right, so that's it. The Storm Sorcerer is now just insane. I am. What a wrecking machine. What a wrecking machine. I love it. All right, I love it. Okay, cool. That's it. Storm Sorcerer, badass motherfucker. I'm really, really happy with this. This is just like a tilt. This is just a tilt subclass, man. Holy shit. Fuck, that's cool. All right, okay, I'm done. I'm geeking out, but I'm done with it now. Oh yeah, your max sorcery limit, at 9th level, it would only be 30 feet. It would only be a 30 feet step. But, yeah, but I can still do it. Anyway, shut up. I'm done. I'm going to be out for the day. I'm going to be back tomorrow morning. We're going to do more, Eberron artwork in the morning for the adventure that we're going to be publishing on DMsGuild, the Crystals of Mabar. And, Steve, anyone else? Hey, thanks a lot for hanging out, my guy. Yeah, you too, buddy. Good having you around. Thanks a lot. Yep, we'll be back on Friday to do the Lunar Sorcerer. So I'm out of here. See you on the other side. Cheers.